Hello, this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chilies, www.superhotchilies.com. Welcome to our series here on our YouTube channel called Peppers 101. And the purpose of Peppers 101 is to educate people about different chilies from all over the world, whether they be a super hot cross that's new, some new hybrid, or an heirloom that's been around for centuries, or who knows, maybe even thousands of years. And we want to teach you all about, you know, the flavors, the heat. You want to see the actual chilies on the plants, which is the most exciting thing here to do. And you actually can see the chilies and see that I'm actually growing them, that I haven't just like got the seeds from my buddy and then I'm selling them. So you actually see that I'm growing these chilies. Some videos we may have the chilies piled up on a table and we won't be doing a plant video, and that's because we're growing in another remote location, so it's not possible for me to go out there with my camera and do a video. So I'll do them when the chilies arrive here and get shipped here. So on with the show. Peppers 101. Please like, share, and subscribe with others, and please share these videos with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers, and most importantly, your children. If you ever grow any of these, because they're wonderful to grow new chilies all the time, share that with your children. So when you're around the dinner table and they go, Dad, how did you know, what's in this sauce? And you tell them the chili and it's from this place and da-da-da-da. And you know, the kids will remember stuff like that. If we don't pass down the knowledge of these chilies and other things to our children or grandchildren, then it can get lost. What you're looking at right now is the Isleta Pueblo chili. And Pueblo is an Indian settlement in New Mexico. There are a few in Arizona, but mostly New Mexico. And this is an old world chili. This is a chili that's been around for hundreds of years for sure. The Spanish might have brought seeds up in the 1500s, 1400s to these areas. And then they just kind of evolved because, you know, chilies will evolve based on their environmental conditions. They'll develop their own flavor. They'll develop a lot of characteristics. An environment can change a chili from year to year too. Not drastically change it, but you know, make them bigger, smaller, hotter, sweeter, darker in color, lighter in color, skin texture. There's a number of things that the current environment in your growing season can change your chili slightly. But these are chilies that have kind of evolved in Indian pueblos, not too far from the Rio Grande River, because a lot of these pueblos in New Mexico are close to the Rio Grande River. And the tributaries and streams and creeks that come off them, the Native Americans would use these to irrigate their crops. You can see the productivity on them. It's amazing. Now, what's so great about Native American chilies? Okay, historically, this is our chili heritage in the United States of America. This is our heritage, and we need to protect that heritage. And how do we do that? Well, we grow a bunch of these chilies and we share them, and so we can keep them going, because a lot of pueblos are not growing as much as they did before. So we could lose some of these chilies. They could be endangered. Now, the Isleta Pueblo chili and a lot of other Native Americans, even though they look alike, red and look like these, do have differences in flavor. Now, if you have to have a sensitive taste buds to realize the subtlety in the flavors. Now, chefs, of course, that have trained palates or trained taste buds, they can sense them. But I hope that if you grow them, you grow a couple of Pueblo chilies, you will be able to start learning the differences yourself. The flavors can be very savory, sweet, and complex. When I say complex is, they don't just taste like one flavor, like salt or like sour, or there's just different flavors that roll off your tongue. Now, most of the Pueblo chilies, especially these here, are better eaten when green, if you're going to roast them or stuff them, because the flesh is thicker then. When they start to turn red or go fully red, the flesh, the thickness of the pepper starts to evaporate, and they're really good for drying and making powders, paste, and sauces, or as an ingredient like a spice. But this Isleta, the wall thickness is still pretty good when it turns red. There's others, as soon as they turn red, you'll squeeze on them and you'll see they'll flex in. Where this isn't, it's got a good solid wall. Not as thick as a jalapeno, but still pretty solid where you could stuff them and roast them when they're red. Okay, wrap them in bacon, put chicken and cheese in them, you know, whatever you want to do. There's so many different things you can do with them. But Native American chilies, I probably have about 30 on my website. I'm only growing a few this year because I grew a bunch last year, and they're just so prolific and productive. And also the flavor's it's just fantastic. You should grow a couple Native Americans, and I'm not just saying that just so you give me your money. I'm telling you, it's just that the flavor is just amazing. I mean, if you're just eating super hots or jalapenos, you know, you want to go beyond that in the kitchen. Be adventurous, try some different stuff, because this chili is just, these Native American chilies, I can just tell you they're amazing in flavor, and they're really easy to grow. They get about, the Isleta Pueblo gets about 3 to 4 foot tall, and they'll fall over like these ones here. Like, see these vines? They get kind of viney. Not all the Native Americans do that, but they just kind of fall and flop over. So in the beginning, you can tie them to a stake. Tomato cage would probably be best, because when they're grown on the farms in New Mexico, you know, north of Albuquerque, most of the Pueblos are north of Albuquerque, you know, they just let them flop on the ground, you know. They don't try to stake them or keep them up. So these are the ancestors of the Hatch chilies, just to let you know. I mean, these were around before the Hatch chilies came, and then the Hatch chilies were bred to be bigger and thicker flesh and better for the grocery store. And so, but these are the ancestors of the Hatch chilies. And one more thing about these, there's also another pepper on my website called Isleta Long, and that means it's a bigger, longer chili. Flavor is very similar, but they're bigger, longer chilies, okay? So this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chilies, and I hope you've learned something about chilies today at Peppers 101. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please share. We want this knowledge of chilies to be passed along to the future generations. It's very important to me. It's not all about the money to me. It's about sharing the passion of chilies. So, y'all take care now.